Hello, I'm Scott Brown with Green Wind and Other Home Energies. Okay, we got our meter set here to AC volts, and I've got it hooked up on the voltage in common here. And this is set to AC volts. We've got it hooked up to one coil of the 4-blade, and I'm just going to spin it by hand and hold it here. And we show, do that one more time. Lean down, lean. Look like about 36 volts. Okay. And we'll hook it up to the other one. Alright, we got it hooked up. We got up to almost 40 there. Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and hook it over on amps. Now for amps, I have to come down here. That's DC amps, and that's 8. So I'm going to switch this around here. I know it's not a power supply right now. It's not spinning, so I'm shorting nothing out. Normally you want to disconnect your wires and get everything set the way you want first, and then hit a switch after you've got it all done. Alright, now this is going straight through the meter. All the power is going through, just as if you'd shorted these wires out. No, shouldn't be any more resistance at all, but it is a little. But it is what they call negligible. Alright, now we have it on AC and on the 10 amp spot. And I've got it across one coil. Do it one more time. And they look like about 320 milliamps, about 1/3 of an amp. But it sure did slow these blades down. I'm sure between the two I can probably get 1 amp out. And 1 amp times 24, well, that's 24 watts. It's not much, but it's a constant deal. Oh, I'm Scott Brown with Green Wind and Other Home Energies. We're looking at 4 foot worth of pipe here. I'm going to get this out of the way. Okay, and we got a 90-degree half-inch pipe, 90-degree elbow. On this one, this is too long. It caused it to turn like this too much. Because here's what happens. Your pole is here. This is a couple flat washers should be here and greased real good, and the other pipe comes all the way on up. This pipe here is going down inside your pipe, your tower pipe. All right, this really needs to be about this long before it hits this. So basically, we're going to get about a 1-inch nipple, and it's going to have a little on both sides, and then a T. And this is entirely too long, because when this starts turning like this, you notice that gets out very far, and then the wind's got a lot more leverage. This being here and this being shorter is going to help out a lot. This is what I've learned from doing these. This coupler needs to come back, and then on the front of this, I have an adapter. This is very hard steel, but you're going to have to get a tap and tap it, and it's got to match the threads on your wind turbine. This is entirely too long. You need about, if you notice right here, you'll see that I got a weld and you can see some of the threads. And you look at those threads and you tighten them down really good. It's got a shiny part in the middle. It tells you what's going to be sticking between these, and you're going to have to add about a 1/4 inch to get what really shows, because you can't tighten them all the way up to the end of the threads. Anyway, so this is entirely too long. This is perfect. 90-degree and another 90-degree going up, and this sets up now, but this is not setting at 90 degrees here. Notice this here is setting about 5 degrees tilted up towards the front. That keeps the blades a little bit farther out, and also the wind comes down. The wind doesn't go straight across, it comes down at an angle. Now here's the angle of your automatic furling mechanism, the pipe on the end. This should be tilted back a little bit more, because I don't have a stop for the tail. You don't want your tail getting up into the blades. This is not 45 degrees. This would be 45 degrees. This is acceptable, but this is where it's sitting right now. That's not far enough. Anyway, the tail's short enough. and still doesn't hit the blades, it's okay. And this one was okay. Now you could sit there and take a rod and come all the way down and anchor it down inside here and have it come up to the top, where when you stick your PVC pipe on this, it'll lock it on and keep it from falling off. Anyway, I'm Scott Brown with Green Wind and Other Home Energies. Here's what happens. The wind blows, it pushes back on this side, because this is where the alternator is. Not in the center right there where the pipe is. So this is like a hinge. Your yaw bearing, like I said, 2 flat washers with some grease will allow this thing to spin. Another good thing is put you something soft on the bottom of this pipe so it doesn't rattle like mine. That bang clang clang you hear on it again. Sure sounds like a lot more wind than it is. And here's down the other side. I decided to take care of it. I'm pulling it up, sticking a rubber grommet or some cloth on around the bottom. Keep it from rattling. Not a problem. Okay, anyway, the wind pushes like this and tries to make it do this, so your blades will be sideways to the wind. At that point, if I'm anchored onto this with an angle like this, and this turns, notice my elbow's going up in the air. And then the length and weight of that will swing all this back into motion. When the wind does this, my elbow goes up, same thing. The length and weight of your tail govern when it's going to come out, what wind speed is going to come out of the wind. This one was furling too early and too quick. And when the wind was going and making it spin out of the wind so much, the gyroscopic effect was prying this part back and forth, and I only had probably about 3 threads in, and that's what broke it off. So yeah, you can't make these things out of PVC, that's for sure. Anyway, right here we have a high intensity red LED stop and tail and brake lamp. High intensity. You can see here I've got one of the coils hooked up to the tail, basically with just AC, because these are diodes. They'll make DC for themselves. But anyway, these I got this one going to the tail, this one going to the stop, or vice versa. And basically you can see we definitely hit 12 volts just moving it, cogging back and forth, and you're getting usable energy. That's why LEDs do real good. If I turn this real fast, it could probably blow. If I turn this around about like this, it would probably blow them things. But this is a good test to show you. Good. Sure. Anyway, you can see how sensitive this is.
Oh, it's unregulated AC voltage.
This shaft right here, see if I grab this shaft and I move it from one cog to the other, it comes on once. But not only does it come on once, as the shaft rocks back and forth like this, when it comes to the next cog, it wants to go to the middle, but it bounces back and forth. So it goes cog, bounce, and you'll see it generate electricity on the bounces. One cog right here. See how many times it flashed? One cog. One. And each time it bounced back and forth, it flashed. Anyway, something nice to know. Basically it was generating positive and negative. So it was going up and down, it was generating AC, but this is a diode. It has already rectified it for itself because they are diodes. I'm Scott Brown with Green Wind and Other Home Energies.